going on, guys? We're back.
What up, what up?
Your boy Tino.
Aaron, the barber.
And,
Gotta plug it.
Gotta plug the barber, bro. Yeah, check him out.
Gotta plug it.
Gotta plug it. Best barber in Monroe.
Yeah,
Maybe Orange County.
yeah. We don't claim to be the best, but
I claim.
we sure
I'll
as
claim
hell.
for him.
We
I'll
sure
claim
as
for
hell
him.
try.
I get my cuts there. I'll claim for him.
I'm in.
I'll
take it.
So we're back with episode 2. We appreciate all the love we got for episode 1. The YouTube video is up. It was up today, and we've gotten some good feedback. I'm happy with everything. Again, guys, in the YouTube video, I did drop an email, and I dropped the original audio if you guys want to hear more of the content. If you want to email us questions, or you want to come on with us and talk to us about something, or even if you don't agree with something we're saying and you want to argue with us about it, we're cool with it. We want all of it. We want all the smoke.
Yep, all the smoke. We'll take it all.
We're
ready.
Yeah, we're ready for it. Like, we're not always going to be right.
Yeah,
We could be wrong, you know? But, so let us know. We want all the feedback.
Yeah, especially just like, I don't know, just talking, so you forget what you say sometimes. You forget what you say sometimes, you know?
Oops.
But, oops. It is what it is.
Yeah, you know,
It's cool,
listen,
you know?
we
We want the feedback.
we're all human, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, you can fact check us if you want.
Yeah, we
It's
don't
fine.
gotta.
We're not
fact
going
check
to get upset. Okay?
No, not at all.
Okay, we could say when we're wrong. Cool.
Accountability, it's huge.
But let's get into this, man. We got our episode 2. It's a little bit different. We're not going to go too much about our experiences. I mean, it'll be some of our experiences, but we're going to go into someone we like, that we kind of look up to, and not necessarily like an admire-ish idol type thing, but it's something that we've seen them, and we kind of like, we respect what they bring to the table as a father or a human being, however you chose to do it, however I chose to do it, you know. We both picked different people. It's kind of funny, our people are polar opposites of each other.
Total opposites.
Total opposites of each other. I think it's hilarious.
But both dads.
Both dads. Both good dads.
Yeah.
And
someone fight you on yours.
we can fight about it. I'll fight to the death with that.
I don't know enough to fight about it.
I did my research.
But I know some people aren't a fan.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, people aren't a fan of mine either, so.
So yeah, you know, listen, everyone's gonna like it, but
yeah, for sure.
it's definitely something to talk about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I mean, you want to hit it first? Your guy, or you want me to go?
No, you can go first. Go for it.
All right, cool. So, who I picked, very controversial guy. He's a headliner. His name's LeVar Ball. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this guy is, but if you don't know who LeVar Ball is, you'll find some interesting content on him.
Yeah, I don't watch basketball and I know who he is.
Yeah, you don't have to watch basketball. He's not a basketball player, by the way. His sons are basketball players. So he's a very interesting man. He built a name for himself. People say off his sons. But he was very outlandish, brash. His oldest son was the one that kind of got everything started for them, their family, the Ball family. Lonzo, he was the number 2 pick. I forget what year it is. But he went to the Lakers, and LeVar was very vocal about him being number 2 pick, him going to the Lakers, and kind of like, you know, manifesting it, you know, speaking it to existence. And I like that, you know. I believe that's very important when you have goals, when you want to do something. I mean, I'm sure you had goals coming up. I mean, you started off as a barber, bro.
Yeah,
and now you own your own stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you had to put that in your head,
That's it.
and that was a vision for you.
You just say you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You do it.
And you grinded for that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's almost even like when you first find out you're going to be a dad, because the first couple weeks you're like, how the fuck am I going to do this? How am I going to make this happen? Like, if you're not 100% ready for it, and no one's ever really ready for it. You'll never be ready for it, even if you have the money, also kind of shit, whatever. You know, like.
Getting your ducks in a row, it does not matter.
No,
parenting is something you just have to figure out.
Yeah, and exactly. And I tell guys this all the time. I come to the shop that I find out their girl's pregnant, they're gonna be a dad. I'm just like, dude, you just do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
you just do it. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
one is because you don't have a choice. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta feed them, you gotta take care of them, you gotta bathe them, you gotta do that kind of stuff, and you just do it, and you don't mind doing it because it's yours. You know?
Yeah.
You can have it.
Absolutely, 100%. That's like hitting it on the head. Like, you just.
Most guys, there are a bunch of pieces of shits out there.
Yeah, we're not speaking like. Don't get us wrong here. This is a podcast to have us to have a voice. But we're not talking to the guys that are pieces. Like, we're talking to the guys that do what they're supposed to do. They're grinding for their family, whether they're with the significant other or not. Like, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing for their kids. And that's what we stand for as fathers, and and that's what this podcast is about.
Hell yeah.
And that's that's the point. We're trying to get it so that the good dads are out front and center, and the bad ones disappear. Like, we don't want that. No one should want to have a bad father or be a bad father. Like,
no.
it's not okay at all.
Not at all.
It's not fair to the kid ever.
Nope.
So but yeah, I picked him because he gets a lot of flack.
Yeah.
And
that's how I know him, because I don't even watch basketball, but I know who this guy is because people hate on him.
And a little backstory on him. People always ask, what do you do? What do you do? So he was a professional football player at one point in his life.
Must not have been that good.
I think. Well, he was pretty good. They said he was strong.
Okay.
I think he played for the Jets and then I think for the Panthers.
All right.
So people say, he must not have been that good, but when I watched his show on Facebook, All Ball in the Family, great show. Love it. Like, that's honestly, if you wanted to get to know about him, that'll change your mind on him.
All right.
Because you see the real him. Like, he's actually interacting with his kids.
Yeah.
He's interacting with his wife. His wife, who's had a stroke.
Wow.
Yeah. So before Lonzo got drafted, his wife had a stroke.
Oh shit.
And it was during one of the biggest games of his life, Lonzo's college career, and they couldn't go to the game because she had the stroke and she's paralyzed from one side, can't talk, nothing, generally how to walk and everything. So
people think they got it bad.
Yeah, so he he might be this and that, but I respect that because he stuck by her. Did all this fame he's got? You don't think he could run around do whatever? No, he's at home helping her get better, training with her. Like, he is all about his wife.
His wife, yeah.
So that's super dope. To me, as a man, that's what you do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Made that vow, man.
Yeah, he committed.
He made that vow, dude.
He stepped into it.
That's what it's about. It's not a game marriage either.
No.
It's not
a
joke.
game. It's an even back and forth.
Yeah.
You have to have their back, they have to have your back as well. So me seeing that was the dopest thing I could see when I saw that. That gained my respect at foremost for the first of it, because I looked at him as entertaining when I first started watching him.
Yeah.
And then when I actually watched the show and started seeing all the stuff behind the scenes he went through, I was like, oh, that's some real shit. Like, he's going through some real shit.
Absolutely.
So that was cool. You know, and then so he was a professional football player. To get back to that, he says, and this is what I like about him, is that he's in an interview. I forget what episode it was, but he goes and talks about his professional career. He goes, "My boys wouldn't be what they were today if I took my career seriously. If I was selfish enough to go for the big payday." He goes, "I was on the road. I wouldn't have been able to put the effort I put into these kids to make them star athletes."
Yeah.
He goes, "Because no one would have been able to do what I did with them."
Yeah.
So I made my little check. I think he said he made $250K, I think, or something like that. Took that money, got him the house in Chino Hills, invested it. He started doing personal training, and that's how he was making his money. Him and his wife. His wife was a teacher.
Okay.
So to me, that's cool. Go back to the last episode when you said you're giving up stuff that you sacrificing things, like your dad with the bike.
Yeah.
That's his bike. That was his bike.
Yeah.
His professional career in football, that was his bike. He gave up on that because he said, we want our boys to be in the NBA. We want them to be successful, the highest athlete. I knew I could train them to do that. I knew I could be hard on them. I knew I could do this. That's why I didn't continue on. Because I could have been a journeyman football player and made millions here, millions there. But I had a bigger picture in my head, and I wanted my kids to be bigger than that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And, fast forward, he's not wrong. He wasn't wrong.
No,
he wasn't wrong.
That's what it's about.
His middle son, his middle son had issues, and he's not in the NBA anymore. He got in the G League, and then on a practice squad, and then he had a lot of injuries, so he's not in the NBA picture. But his oldest son and his youngest son, he's the only parent to have two kids in the NBA go 2 and 3 in the top 3.
Oh yeah.
So that alone,
till little Bron gets there.
Yeah, little Bronny. Yeah, little Bronny.
Bronny gets there.
Yeah, Bronny. I don't know.
I don't even know. I don't even watch basketball.
He's gonna be a problem, though. He's gonna be a problem.
He's gonna be a problem. I know about little.
He's gonna be a problem. But yeah, no. So I think that's awesome because that's he dedicated all this time and effort into his boys, and you could see his boys respect him.
Yeah.
The youngest one especially. Like, and they gave him so much shit because he took the youngest one out of high school. He put him overseas, sent him overseas to play with adult. Like, his son at 16 was playing with grown men in Lithuania.
Yeah, it's impressive.
And then he moved to Australia, and he got into the league at 18 through, not through college like you normally go through.
Yeah.
He went through the hard way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he didn't have a childhood. He literally was grinding his whole childhood. Imagine that. You're 15 years old, bro. At 15, I was trying to hang out with chicks and do all different kind of hang out with my boys.
He's
do all
lucky
kind of stuff.
though. He's lucky in the sense that his son had that drive and that willpower to want to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because some people will look at that like, oh, well, are you trying to like live vicariously like through your children? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you trying to force them into things? Like, are you trying to?
All his kids wanted.
They wanted, dude.
All three of them
wanted, dude. And he saw that they wanted it, and he just ran with it. He was
like,
like, cool, because this is what I want too. Bet. Let's
go.
go.
And this is what you gotta do. You want it? This is what you gotta do.
Hell yeah.
And kudos to him on that. His kids told him they wanted to be in the NBA, and he said, okay, well, I'm gonna put you through whatever you gotta put. Just trust me, and I'll get you there.
Yeah.
And he got 2 out of 3, not bad.
Yeah. No.
The third one was in, but obviously he had issues.
Yeah.
So that to me is like super dope.
Yeah.
I think that's like, to me, like and I have 2 boys, so like that's another reason why I look at it like that's what I want to be to my kids. I want my kids to look up to me like his kids look up to him.
Yeah.
And like granted, people say like Lon, the oldest one, had issues with him. Midway through his like NBA career, like 2 years in, they had some like disputes on stuff, but he never got disrespectful in public. He never lashed out, anything like that. Everything he did was very respectful, but very upfront with his dad. And if the new interview he has out from last year, he talks about it. He says, I was 21 years old. I was doing what a kid does with his father.
Yeah.
Like, I was being stubborn and trying to be my own man. He goes, but we're good. Like, we've always been good. It was just, I was trying to do my own thing. My dad was trying to be a dad, lead me the right way, but I wanted to do my own thing.
Yeah.
So, and that's, you did it with your dad, I'm sure. I did it with, my mom and my grandfather, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you resist.
No, you do. You do. Like, I said this on the last podcast, like my dad does site safety. He's, old school New York City, like construction worker type dude, and always told me, he was like, listen, but if you're not going to go to school, you need to have a trade or whatever. And like, I used to go work with him when I was a kid, and like, I hated that shit, man. Like, that's not for me, man. Like, lucky enough, I learned some things, you know what I mean, where I can get by, you know what I mean?
Yeah, handy enough.
Yeah, I can patch a hole in the wall. I know how to cut some tile, you know what I mean? I can make things work, I can paint, but I knew I did not want to do that, like, at all.
That wasn't your trade. You didn't care for it.
No, I didn't care for it, and so I remember like the day I finally I finished going to community college. I went and got my associates, and I remember the day I told my dad, I was like, look, I'm gonna go to barber school, and he literally looked at me and was like, really? You want to be a barber? Like that's what you're gonna do? Yeah, like
that's what we're doing right now.
That's what we're gonna do, And I'm just like, I remember telling him, I was like, listen, you know what, man? Like, even if I make less money, as long as I'm happy, that's where it's at.
Honestly, that's the key.
Yeah, that's where it's at. And like at first he wasn't cool with it, but as time went on and he saw that like this was like my passion, my craft, what I wanted to do. The guy gets more haircuts than anyone I know now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just comes up.
The freebie.
Yeah, freebie. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, for sure. Like, especially not having my own shop. He was like, all right, cool. Like, you weren't fucking around, dude. Like, you really wanted to do this, and you did it. And like, yeah, man, that's it. You make it happen, dude. You make it happen. Which leads me to like my person, and it's kind of generic because it's a podcast. But I'm gonna go with Joe Rogan. Just because, like, that whole, and he is a father, and the reason why I picked him, not even so much why he's a dad, he talks about being a dad all the time and what he wants for his kids and all that kind of stuff, but me, myself, I'm a very structured individual. I'm very structured, very disciplined, and so is he, obviously, and he talks about showing that to your kids, you know what I mean, so that they don't just become, you know what I mean, like a leaf in the wind, kind of just blowing through life, you know what I mean, because you don't want that for your kid, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, you really don't want that. You want them to have some kind of structure,
Foundation.
Yeah, some kind of foundation. Like, it's cool to be cavalier in life and, like, hang out and just chill, but, like, you gotta have some kind of structure. It's very important, dude. It's very, very important.
100%.
Yeah, it's very important.
It's funny. I like how you brought that up with Joe Rogan, and he talks about being disciplined and the foundation. I have an older brother. He's 10 years older than me. My mom's not his mom. He's from my dad's side, but my mom was one of the first people he knew as a mom, and like kind of raised him a bit.
Yeah.
And me and him talk about it all the time. Like my mom gave us certain structure and foundation on how to do things and how things are done properly. And just because you didn't continue being raised by my mom, when my mom and dad split, my dad took him.
Yeah.
He still had that foundation, and that's why me and him are so similar.
Yeah.
That's why our work ethics are so similar. That's
Yeah.
why but just having that foundation for the short amount of time, like my mom was with my dad for a while before they had me. Like
Okay.
my mom got married to my dad at like 17, 18.
Okay.
Back then it was like cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know? And so she didn't have me until she was like 22.
Okay.
So they were together for a while, and she was, raising my older brother for some time.
Yeah.
And so him having that 5-6 years of a foundation from her translated into how he does everything now. Like he thanks her to this day. Like, thank you for being that for me, because if it wasn't, I don't know what I would have been doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And it goes to it.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
you're disciplined. Like you had that foundation put into you because your dad made you work your ass off.
And that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's because like my dad is very much structured. You know what I mean? Like he makes time for himself, and there's plenty of time to like fuck off and enjoy and hang out. But you can't play until everything is done. You know what I'm saying?
That's like, my grandfather was.
Like you can't, dude. You really can't. Like if you have stuff to do, and it's a mental thing too. Because like I don't know about you, but like I got anxiety like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone deals with it a little bit in their life. You know what I'm saying? And
that's wild.
But the only thing that helps that anxiety is to check off the list. You know what I'm saying?
So you're a list guy.
I keep a mental list. Like
okay.
I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before I can sit back and hang out and watch TV and chill. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like I use the example. Like I would love to get more into like reading books. You know what I'm saying? Like I love I love new information and gaining new knowledge and all that kind of stuff. But every time I sit down and read a book, unless I had everything done,
you can't enjoy the book.
I'm not enjoying the book.
Or you're not paying attention to it.
I'm not paying attention.
You're just looking at words.
I'm just taking in words and I'm not even absorbing them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because my mind is just drifting off elsewhere. You know what I mean?
I think that's I'm disciplined in certain ways, but I think you're way more disciplined than I am.
It's hard.
I think that.
It wasn't always like that.
Yeah, I think that I'm a very go with the flow kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I've always been that. I'm always very laid back.
And that's cool too, though.
But when I'm in the fire, I show up when I have to show up.
Well, that's what it is, and that's what I mean. Like, and that's kind of why I picked Rogan, because he's a good example. Because we're talking about a dude that has like a pretty chill life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do the shit he does. You know what I mean? Granted, he just does whatever he wants, and it might seem that way, but
he's awesome.
But he's awesome. And the things that he do require a lot of discipline, dude, and a lot of structure. Like it's not.
Because what is he does his podcast, which is like the biggest podcast ever.
It's huge.
And then he's a comedian.
And he's a comedian. You know
and then he does the UFC stuff.
He does UFC. You know what I mean?
And it's like, and then he has the On It.
He has
a sponsor with On It.
Yep.
He works out like a motherfucker.
He's a fucking hunter.
Yeah.
He hunts. He takes a lot of discipline.
And then he's a father.
Yeah, and he's a father. On top of all that, he's a father, dude.
Yeah. Three girls.
Yeah.
Now, Mark Wahlberg has a quote.
Yeah.
It kind of burns me a little bit, but it's like he's like, "You're not a father until you have a daughter." He says that. I'm like, screw you. But it's true though, because they are harder.
It's definitely harder.
My best friend has a daughter, and I wouldn't. No.
Yeah, well, I talk about it with my dad, 'cause like I have a little sister, and it's like.
Yeah, I have a little sister too.
Yeah, I have a younger sister. She's younger than me, so it's like my dad was always like, dude, like with me, he didn't hesitate to give me a quick smack if I needed one. You know what I'm saying? Like.
The sister's always going to be everything.
Not so much like it's not so much that they get away with everything, but the way you approach it has to be different, dude. Like listen, my dad's like a hardcore New York City fucking construction worker type dude, so he's very fucking he can be harsh. He's rough, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So but then you have this little girl, and it's like, how do you discipline her? You know what I'm saying? How do you try to show her the right way without using some kind of force or like anger? And like even that's not the way to raise children in general, boy or girl. You know what I'm saying? Like. But you have to show them. You have to go a different way about it when you have a daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to.
So I get exactly what you're saying is. So, prime example. Like I said, my best friend. I look at his daughter as my niece. He has to be so much different with her.
Yeah.
Like with me and my boys, I'm rough with them. I can be rough with them.
Yeah.
The boys, like it is what it is. And like. They laugh at a lot of things I do with them.
Yeah, for sure.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like I wrestle around with them. I grab them. I pick them up. Do all kind of it's fun to them because it's like they're rough. But like I couldn't imagine doing that with a little girl.
No, you can't.
Like you can't. Like,
they're just delicate. They're delicate. They're just different.
And it's nothing against women. It's nothing.
No,
we're not saying anything like
you guys
like that.
You guys are the counterpart, dude. Like you guys are the complete opposite of us. You know what I mean? And that's it's the yin and the yang kind of thing. You know
but that's why girls are closer to daddy.
That's it.
Because.
That's it.
Daddy's delicate with them. Yeah. He listens to them. Yeah. He has to kind of be a little more.
Yeah.
Whereas the boys get it rough, and they're kind of they go towards the mom. You know,
Yeah,
the mom's the
for
one
sure.
that kind of like
Yeah.
coddles them and says, "Oh, it's gonna be okay." Like,
Absolutely.
you know, so that's why it's like that.
Yeah.
You know, but that's how it's supposed to be.
No, for sure, without a doubt.
You know,
like my dad would say all the time, he's like, I can't do with her what I did with you. Because I remember being a kid, like, I would bitch to my dad. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
you're always so hard on me, and like, you're not hard
That's
on her. Like,
you sound like a little brother. My
yeah,
little brother.
Like, what's the issue,
same
man?
way.
Like, yeah, like you just can't. I can't be that way with her, dude. Like, it's just different, you know. Like, you don't understand. When I was an adult, as a parent, you get it. I mean, you totally get it, dude.
Yeah, but as a kid, you're just like, well, I'm a kid, she's a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, my little brother, like, it's just like what you just said.
Yeah.
He's 15, and my little sister, I think, is 13, going on 14.
Yeah, so they're pretty close in age.
They're like a year and a half apart,
Yeah.
something like that. And he gets mad because I talk to him a certain way. He goes, well, no one ever talks to me like this. No one ever. I'm like, dude, she's a girl.
Girl, dude, yeah.
I was like, you don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
the sister's always gonna get away with more because they're a girl. They're not gonna be as hard. They're not gonna be as harsh as you are with the boy. Because it, just me being completely honest, like, you have to be like that with your kid, with a son. Because like, you have to make them tough. Especially the world we live in now.
You have to.
It's like you have to have thick skin in this world.
Yeah, you
like,
have to. You absolutely have to.
You have to. If you're gonna survive in this world and be okay, like, that's all I think about for my kids. Like, making sure that they have the tools necessary to make it in the world that's coming up for them.
Absolutely.
Because eventually I'm gonna be gone.
And a big part of that is just going back to it is just structure and discipline, dude. Like,
it goes right back to that.
You have to be, dude. You have to. If you want something, you have to fight for it, dude. Like, it's just not gonna be given to you.
And going back to my guy LeVar, he had structure for his kids.
Yeah.
He had them doing basketball camps all year round.
Mm-hmm.
He had the workouts. He had, you know, the sprints, the this, the that. Like, the kids talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, in order to achieve something, he gave them the structure to do it.
Yeah.
And that's why it translates into the highest form of, you know, being an athlete.
Yeah.
You know, and it's amazing.
Yep.
You know, and that's the only way they got that way is by following the structure that their dad put in place for them.
Yeah.
If they were one of these kids that said, I'm not doing that shit.
Yep.
Screw that. I'm not doing that. They wouldn't be in the NBA.
Yeah, and a lot of people do that whole screw that shit, I'm not doing that because they're worried about what other people think. You know what I mean? And like you were talking about before about the whole being tough in today's world and having a thicker skin, like, this whole social media shit is horrible.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I mean, I'm on it. I need it for my business. You know what I mean? Like, it's important.
It's essential for a lot of things.
Yeah.
But it's scary in a lot of things as well.
It's not essential for life.
No.
You know what I mean? It shouldn't be, dude.
I agree with that 100%.
And there's like statistics showing too that like the younger generation, and I even notice it because I have a lot of kids that come to my shop. So like a lot of high school kids that like, I have them on social media, all that kind of stuff. And like statistically, it shows that the younger generation, like in those teen years right now, they post way less than like say me and you and I post, you know?
Yeah.
And they post less because they're worried about what their peers think. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
You know, dude.
Like, you go to some of these kid pages and like they'll have like 30,000 followers,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fake or not, whatever, but they'll have like 6 pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like
so,
that. You know?
it's funny you
Like
say
the
that.
anxiety it creates is just
It's funny you say
insane.
that because going back to my younger brother, like I'm like seeing it firsthand with him because he's in that age group you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where me and Jules were at the house. We're actually editing the YouTube video, and we got my mom's old computer, and we started seeing all the old pictures, the albums of the kids being young, and so I was talking to my brother about it. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna post some and tag you on it. And he's like, no, don't, like right away, freaking out.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. You can't do that. I have people following me. I'm like, dude, who cares? Like,
cares?
you're a baby. Like, I look crazy. I'm like, dude, you're 5 years old. You couldn't pick what you wanted to wear at that point in time.
But you know Gary Vee?
Gary Vee.
Gary Vaynerchuk?
No, I don't know.
He's like this fucking now. I mean, he does like a lot of like motivational type talking and speaking and stuff like that. But he's,
Oh wait, is he the one guy, like the 1X or whatever, 10X or whatever? That's always on Facebook.
I'm not totally sure. I have no idea. He's on a lot of Facebook feeds. He does a lot of stuff on.
He sounds familiar. You describing it sounds like familiar.
Yeah, he does. But he's an entrepreneur. That's his big thing. He's an
I
entrepreneur.
think they know what you're talking about now.
And he talks about that, like using social media, like it's free advertising, dude. You know what I mean? So like.
Did you ever wear a black T-shirt, skinny guy, white?
Yeah, it's kind of like salt and pepper kind of hair.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he's cool as hell, dude. And I listen to a lot of his motivational type shit because that's my thing. Like I love motivational talks. Like that's kind of how I try to start my day. You know what I mean? I'll throw something on just to.
Well, that's Joe Rogan too. He's a motivational
And
guy.
that's another thing. And I'll listen to some Joe Rogan motivational stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Gary Vee talks about from a business sense. You know what I mean? Like you have to put out content. You know what I mean? Like it's very important. You have to be in people's faces, dude. You know what I mean? Especially now with social media, like. who cares how many likes you're gonna get? Just put it out there, dude. Like, don't be afraid.
You see my Facebook? With
No,
yeah. Blasted everywhere, bro.
You have to. You
have
can't
to.
care, dude, because at the end of the day, who's gonna be there? Who's
Yeah.
gonna be there, dude?
Yeah.
Nobody. It's just you.
Yeah.
It's just you.
You're at the end of the day, you're the end all be.
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
you or bust.
Yep. And that's what you are for your kids too.
Yep, exactly.
That's what you are for your
And
kids.
that's your for kids till they're old enough to do it themselves.
Exactly.
And that's why it's so important to go back to the foundation.
Yeah.
Because that's what parents do.
Yeah.
That's our whole job. Our whole job is to, when our kids are young, all the way until they become adulthood, even in their mid-adulthood, is to make sure they have the tools that are necessary so they can be on their own.
Yeah.
Because, that's the sad part about the world. Like, parents aren't always there.
No.
They go.
No.
And when they do, we as parents, when it's that time for us, we pray and hope that you are going to be okay.
Yeah, straight up.
And that's the point.
Yeah, no, you're preparing them for life. Like, I remember, the first time I moved out of my dad's house, and it wasn't by choice. He straight up kicked me out, dude. I was like 20, 21 at the time. I had just started barber school, actually. So he wasn't happy about me wanting to be a barber. Didn't think I was going to go anywhere with it, really. You know what I'm saying? Didn't really have too much faith, but was still...
Hit him with that look at me now. Hit him with it, huh?
I won't do that. No, it's cool. I just tell, every parent wants their kid to be like a doctor or some shit like that.
My mom wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah, doctor, lawyer, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that sounds generic, you know what I mean? But it's just an example, But, dude, yeah, I mean, I was working in retail, going to barber school, so I guess in my dad's eyes at the time, he was just like, what's this kid doing? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want to finish school. You know what I mean? He barely graduated high school. Like, what's going to happen? I set him up for success, you know what I mean? So, like, why isn't he doing that, So, I mean, he took the tough love approach, and he was like, yo, you got to go. Like, you're not contributing to the house. You know what I mean? You're in your early 20s. You don't want to go to school. You know what I mean? Because I guess he didn't count barber school as something that, you know what I mean, that was going to take me somewhere in life, And he's like, you're just...
But that's an old school mindset.
It is an old school mindset. It is, He was like, you're in my basement with your fucking girlfriend, smoking pot, not doing nothing, you know what I mean? Like, you got to go, dude. You got to get the fuck out. You know what I mean? And it happened, and I slept in my car, no joke, for 2 nights. Before slept in my car for 2 nights because I didn't have the money to I wasn't saving money. You know what I mean?
At that age, no one is.
No one is, dude. So I wasn't saving money.
You gotta spend it.
Yeah, dude. So I literally slept in my car for 2 nights until my girlfriend at the time, her parents were like, "You can't do that. Come stay with us." You know what I'm saying? And I lived with them for a year. You know what I mean? I lived with them for a year until I finally me and my dad started getting cool again because he started seeing that I was actually trying to make things happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you weren't just sitting on your ass doing nothing. You were trying to make moves to better yourself somewhere.
Absolutely.
Somewhere.
And you gotta, life's a roller coaster, kid. There's hills and valleys, and at that point I was in a pretty low valley, and I was working tick, 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 tick.
But as long as you're trying to come up, there's no issue.
Yeah, well, some people get down there and they stay down there.
And they get depression, and they feel bad for themselves, they get a party for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hate to be that, but I don't feel sorry for people like that.
Yeah.
Because I've been in those situations where I was down and out, and I'm looking for shit, and I had to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so for me, I always tell people I'm not gonna give you fish, I'm gonna give you a pole.
Yeah.
I'm gonna teach you how to fish, I'm not gonna give you a fish.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality you have to have. That's how my grandfather taught me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you it, I'm gonna show you how to get it.
Yeah.
And that's how you should teach your kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, when they're babies and they're young, you're gonna shower them with gifts, you're gonna do what you want. That's part of being parents.
Yeah.
But the life lesson is you have to make them know how to get it.
Yeah. No,
And that's what I do with my little brother. Every time, once he got to a certain age, because I spoiled him when he was a kid. He's my little brother. I always wanted a little brother when I was younger.
Yeah.
They waited till I was 15 to give me one. Cool. So when I finally got one, I was hyped. I was so hyped about it. I was able to do stuff with him.
Yeah.
And so I spoiled the hell out of him because I was working and I didn't have any other obligations besides chilling. And but as he got to I think when he started to get 12, 13, he started asking for stuff still.
Yeah.
It was to the point where he would just come to me looking for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing this.
No,
I'm not setting this precedent with you where, come to your big brother every time mom and daddy says no.
Yeah. Can't.
So when he comes through stuff now, I'm like, what are you gonna do for him?
Yeah, straight up.
What do you want to do? What do you think that's worth doing for?
Absolutely.
You want to clean my room? You want to do my laundry? You want to do something? You want to clean the car. Like,
Yeah.
I give him stuff to do.
Yeah, dude, you're teaching
You know what I mean?
Earn,
Like, I teach him how, and it's like, and that's what I tell him. Like, when you want money, you need to figure out how to go get it without asking.
Yeah, flat out.
Because I'm not gonna ask for money. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna figure out a way to go get it.
Yeah,
or I'm gonna go broke.
Yeah, straight up.
That's how I am. That's how much pride I have. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
And like, even my mom, like, why don't you? I'm not gonna ask.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so, and that's what I'm trying to instill in him. Like, you don't depend on anyone but yourself.
No, exactly.
You know, I remember when I was working at the fair, I would bring him to power wash the bar.
Yeah.
I'd bring him in there. I'd be like, yo, I gotta power wash the bar. Rather power wash it.
Let's go.
Power wash it. I give him $50 at the end of the day. Here's 50. Power wash it.
Yep.
You know, and then it was to the point my boss saw me bringing him. He put him on payroll.
There you go.
He was kidding. He was throwing money in payroll.
Yeah.
Or he would pay me extra in my check, and I would give him it to him.
Flat out.
You know, so it was like, but like I'm showing him, and then as I'm showing him, I'm also giving him tools that he's gonna need later on
For success.
Like
Set him up.
or just even like owning a house.
Yeah.
Now you know how to power wash your own porch.
There you go.
Now you know how to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
those are little things that like my grandfather would teach me, and like at the time I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do this. This is
Yeah.
annoying. But now I look back, I'm like, oh, I learned that because he made me do this.
And it's anything. It's just maintaining, dude. Like it's just maintaining. Like like just check off that list. It's gonna make life so much easier. You're not gonna have the anxiety. You're not gonna feel like you're behind. Like you can't catch up on things. You know, like one of the things I did the other day. I remember I watched a video about there was this dude. He's like a Marine, like officer, like super up there.
Yeah.
And he gives this talk. I think he wrote a book about it. So I think it's called like Make Your Bed or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like
oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And, like
Every day, make your bed.
Every day, make your bed, dude.
Yep.
Like, make your bed every single day because it
I've
just
heard
gives
that.
you that small sense of pride and accomplishment. And I do it every day.
Well, because you accomplished something.
And it takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It takes 2 seconds, and when you get home, it feels so good. You know, like a nice made bed. You just chill. It's like one less thing to worry about.
When you got it, yeah, I hear you.
It's one less thing to worry about, dude.
I gotta get on that way, but I'll make my bed.
I do. I like
My
it. You know?
see, I'm the opposite.
It's quick,
of
man.
that. I'm
It's
the opposite
quick.
of that. My mind says I'm gonna lay in it anyway.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
like, fuck
But
it.
that's cool too, though.
Yeah,
That's cool too.
you know.
though.
But like I said, that's what I mean. Like where I say, you're more disciplined than I am. I'm more of a laid back kind of guy with certain things. Like I can let certain things slide. Like, but I'm about when it comes to grinding, hustling, making money, like figuring out. That's when like my grind just kicks on. Like,
Yeah,
that's when I put all my energy into.
Well, it's when your back's up against the wall, dude.
I love that though.
Yeah,
I
well,
love
for
that
sure.
feeling.
Like
I
that's
love
it.
it.
Well, for sure.
When my back's against the wall is when I feel like I do my best.
Yeah, so it's like when my back was against the wall, like when that happened, when my dad kicked me out, and I know what I was gonna do, blah blah blah. Like, I reached back into the tools, into the little tool bag that he taught me,
Yeah. And
You know what I'm
use-
saying?
Yeah, you use,
and you make it happen.
Yeah.
Dude. Like so, like dude, I was living with this girl and her parents, you know, and super awkward in the beginning. Eventually, it started to become cool, you know, but
It's still awkward as
it's still
hell.
awkward
It's
as
not
hell,
your house,
dude.
not
It's
your
not my
family.
house. It's like weird going to the fridge, all that kind of
Going
shit,
to the
whatever.
bathroom,
You know what I'm
like,
saying?
yeah.
I didn't have any money, but I gave him whatever I could. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, I was working retail, but like, dude, I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew what I wanted, and then by my dad doing that to me and not really having the
Put a
faith
fire
that
under you
put a
more.
fire under me, dude. So like, I'd
You
get
need
up.
that doubt sometimes.
Yeah, you need that doubt, dude. You need it.
Doubt's
so, like,
okay.
Yeah, so like I would get up, I worked retail in Woodbury Commons, and
Where at?
I
Everyone works
worked everywhere, dude.
Me
I
too.
worked
I
everywhere.
jumped around.
At the time, I was working at Fossil.
Fossil?
Miserable, absolutely hated it.
I did Under Armour, Echo.
Dude, yeah, I
All
worked
that.
at the Gap, Levi's, you know what I mean?
I feel like
most
Gap
places.
is just the mecca.
For sure.
Everyone worked the Gap. I worked the Gap too.
It was a big store.
Yeah.
Man. They just hired kids.
Yeah,
you know?
I used to do the overnight there.
Yeah, dude. So I'd get up. I was at Fossil at the time, and I was only there because I had to leave Levi's because Levi's wouldn't give me the schedule I needed to go to barber school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I would get up in the morning and I'd go to Fossil. I'd get there at 5 a.m. I'd work 5 a.m. to 10, and then I'd go up to my barber school in Middletown, and I'd be there from like 10:30 till fucking like 7 o'clock at night. And I did that 5 days a week. You know what I'm saying? 5 days a
So
week.
that was your schedule in barber school, 10:30 to 7 at night?
Well, it was as long as you want. I wanted to get done as quickly as possible.
Oh, okay. So you said
Because initially, like,
it's like hours in.
yeah, you need like 500 hours to get your apprentice license, all that kind of stuff, you know. Because initially, like, just being a barber for me was to get out of retail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that was it for me. I was like, all right, I finished fucking, you know, I got my associates. I still don't know what I'm doing with life. I know I hate working retail. I don't want to be in retail for the rest of my life. I do like cutting hair. Or I'm at least interested in it. You know what I mean? I wasn't too good at it at the time, but I'm at least interested in it. Let me go to barber school, get my license, work in a barber shop, make better money, and then I'll go back to school. But I just never went back to school.
Yeah.
I kind of just ran with it, dude.
You ran with it. Well, see, I took I get that path because
Yeah.
that's what happened with me with hospitality.
Yeah.
Like my mom wanted to be a lawyer. I went to Pace, I did a year and a half there, and then I just my mom got a better job,
Yeah.
and then I lost my financial aid. They wanted me to pay $10K out of pocket
Yeah,
every
yeah.
semester. I was like, yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling $10K out of my pocket
Yeah,
every
dude.
semester.
Yeah.
I left, started working as a server again. I started training people. I started getting really good at it, and then when I got it together, I started doing some hospitality, and I was doing overnights, and I went back to school then.
Yeah.
And then I did. That was like I took like a 3-year layoff. From
Yeah.
school. Went back to school. Was doing pre-law. Did a year and a half of pre-law, and I still wanted to be a lawyer. And but I think that was more my mom's dream than mine, to be honest.
For sure.
Although I did like going in there and I liked the debate.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Ramapo College, all those classes, the pre-law classes were debate classes, so
Yeah,
it was
nice.
dope. It was I loved it. And then I met my kid's mother, and then the rest was history.
Yeah, that's it.
Kids, and once the first one came, I knew
Yeah.
time to go to work.
Yeah, for sure.
Forget school. I got to get back in this hospitality thing, climb the ladder.
Yeah.
And now I've been in hospitality for almost 10 years now, and I'm at the top of it. So.
Yeah, if you like it, you like it, dude. You know,
Yeah, I mean it's a lot though. You know,
yeah, I hear you.
It's a lot, but to me, I'm more of the F&B side. I like the F&B side of it.
What's that?
Like the food and beverage.
Okay.
Sorry, hotels, acronyms.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
don't know what that is.
Yeah, food and beverage side. So
Yeah.
bartending, events, weddings, all that stuff. I like that more
Yeah.
because it's different every time.
No, for sure.
You know, you're meeting different types of families, different types of people.
Yep.
You know, and I like that. It's quick, it's fast paced. I like
Absolutely.
the quickness, I like the fast pace. I like somewhat of chaos. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like you said, it puts you back in, so it puts you in that position where you're like, you have to move. You can't
Yeah.
stop. You can't stay still.
Well, yeah, for sure.
And that's what that brings me to.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also like my dad would say it all the time too, and I constantly say it because it's a discipline thing. You have to do what you got to do so you can do what you want to do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I love that. I love that.
That's
awesome.
It's very important, dude. So I was talking about before, like when I worked 5 a.m. in the Commons. You know what I mean? Like I did that as soon as I turned 18. I did that way before the barber school thing.
Dude,
You
I
know
was
what I'm saying?
serving at 17. I wasn't supposed to be.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I
I did that
lied,
way
18.
before because like when I was doing the retail thing, like they give you miserable shifts, dude. And like retail, it's tough. Some people like it, some people are cool with it. I didn't like it at all.
Neither did I. That's why I went to the serving side.
Yeah, just like that's so like for me, I was like, all right, cool. Let me become a stock guy, and I'll get there at 5 a.m. and I'll work 5 a.m. to 2, and I'm out. I got the rest of my day. I don't really have to deal with customers. I'm in the back all day, putting
Yeah, I did stock for
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Under Armour.
Yeah, I did all my retail jobs. I did stock from the minute I turned 18. The Gap was the last. I was 16 at the time.
Although Under Armour was nice, I had half off everything.
There you go.
I had Matt on our stuff.
Yeah, dude, no, that's why I loved working at Levi's because it was cool. Because I was getting jeans and shit. It was awesome.
Well, Jules was the stock manager there for a little bit. That's why I won money.
There you go. Yeah.
Just look it up.
And Levi's was the shit too because as a stock guy, they didn't want you on the floor at all. So like I loved it. They just wanted you.
Yeah, well, that's what he told me. That's why he did the same thing you did. He jumped on stock, and they liked him so much they made him assistant stock manager.
Yeah.
And like, dude, he's like, bro, I'm never on the floor. The only time I'm on the floor is when I'm like telling him how to put mannequins together, and I'm back in the back, like looking at stuff.
Yeah, so that was like the whole thing. It was like, what do you want to do? Okay, I would like to have more of my day because like when I was working, they give you ridiculous like midday shifts. Like you'd work 11 to 7 or like 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. Like you don't have a life. It's miserable, dude.
No,
it's miserable, dude. Like
by the time you get up, what can you do? One thing maybe, and then you have to head to work.
And then you gotta go to work. You know, so I was like, you know what? I want more of my day. I want this. I want better money. You know, stock guys always get paid a little bit more, even if it's like an extra quarter or whatever. So you know what? All right, cool. As soon as I turn 18, sign me up. I want to do stock. 5 a.m., dude. 5 a.m. to 2. That was my shift always. You know what I mean? The whole time I was in retail. You know. So that was it. Just do what you got to do so you can do what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Flat
and well, like that's the thing. Like the reason why you were able to do that is because you had that foundation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were able to, even when your back was against the wall. You're kicked out of your house. You're figuring it out.
Yeah, dude. So once I got out of retail.
And honestly, I respect you so much for sleeping in your car. Like you had so much pride to not ask to go anywhere.
No.
Like you, I love that. That's how I would do it.
I wasn't going back home.
That's how I would
couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't go back home. You know
like you put me out. All right.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out, dude.
I'll sleep in my car. Do what I gotta do.
You gotta figure it out, dude.
I love that. That's awesome.
Had to make it happen, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude. So like the 5 a.m. thing to like I still do it now to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But when I started cutting hair, I didn't do 5 a.m.s anymore. You know,
Oh yeah,
I'm at a retail. I
yeah.
do like now I can sleep a little bit. I can get to the shop at 8 and I can cut till 6 or whatever. You know, I'm
Yeah.
chilling. You know, so I didn't get back on. I got huge. I was fat as hell, dude. Fat as hell, dude. I was really big.
Well, I was gonna say the first time when I first met you, you were big.
I was heavy, dude. You know,
Yeah, you're a
we're
big
not
boy.
fat shaming here. You know what I'm saying? Even
Nah.
though, we're not fat shaming. If you're big and happy, that's cool. You know, but
It's choice. It's all
it's
choice.
a choice. But the reason I decided to get healthy was for my son. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like when you first met me, I was probably I actually had a physical two weeks ago, and it was my first physical in like 4 years. You know, because I just don't go to the doctor.
Neither do I.
I just
never
don't go to the doctor.
doctor.
You know, so like it was
It's
my first
absolutely happened.
yeah, dude, it was my first physical in 4 years, and right before my son was born, or that last physical rather, I weighed 290, and I went to the physical 2 weeks ago, and I weighed in at 220.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, yeah, dropped a lot of weight. So I was almost 300 pounds, you know. So like right before I even had my son, I was at that weight. I was probably at my heaviest. I was probably like 290, 295. It was around. So probably
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
That's
you know.
crazy.
So like, but going back to the 5 a.m. thing. I was like, I gotta lose some weight. I gotta make things happen. And it also kind of became like a training thing because I was like, this kid's gonna wake up, man, and I'm not ready for that. Like I'm a heavy sleeper. Like this kid's.
I was a heavy sleeper before I had kids.
Well,
now
yeah,
I'm not.
for sure. That's
now
what I'm saying.
not.
Like,
I'm completely opposite now.
yeah,
Any
dude.
little movement, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah,
shoot
dude. So
up.
like, I'm like, this kid's gonna wake up. You got to get back in some kind of grind. Like, you want to be healthy. You want to make this work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get on the grind, dude. Get back in the 5 a.m. grind. You know, like, why not? Who cares? You know, like, just make it happen, dude. Because you can't go to work all day, especially with a newborn. You can't go to work all day and then leave. Like, all right, I'm gonna go to the gym. Like, that's not happening.
It's possible.
It's impossible. It's not
Impossible.
happening, dude. Like, it's not gonna work. You know, so I made it a choice for myself. I was like, all right, bet. This is what I want. This is what I want. I want to live healthy. I want to be right for my son. You know what I mean? I got to get disciplined again and get on the 5 a.m. shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So initially it started as, like I said, just getting up that early so I can be prepared for that. You know what I mean? Be prepared for a screaming baby. Change the diaper, give him a bottle, and I'm out.
You're out in the gym. Yeah.
And that's how it was for a bit there. It was perfect until he started sleeping a little bit later. You know, he'd wake up probably around like 4:30. You know, I'd go grab the bottle, I'd change the diaper, you know, and I'm out the door.
You're out the door.
I'm in the gym by 5. You know what I mean? And it worked. It
Yeah.
worked until he started sleeping a little bit later, and then I was like, listen, I don't know. But I stood with the 5 a.m. shit because I started seeing great results. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's
That's the
make it
key.
happen.
Once you start seeing the results,
Oh, yeah.
it makes it so much easier to go.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. And I started working out with the dude, Ernie Mabey, the homie. I love you, bud. You're my man, all right? Yeah, dude, really good friend of mine now. I started working out with him, who is also a very, very, very disciplined, structured individual. And the
So
guy,
he keeps you like.
dude, he kind of showed me the way
Yeah.
when it comes to being under the bar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you need that.
Dude, he showed me the way because like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing in that gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
like, and it kind of it took me a little bit of balls too, because he's an intimidating dude. Like he's a man's man, like this guy.
Yeah. Big boy.
He's a big dude. He's jacked.
He knows what
he's
he's
a hunter.
doing.
He knows what he's doing. He's been working out forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's also a father. You know, I'd like to get him on his podcast. He's fucking awesome.
Come through.
Yeah, dude, and he showed me what it takes to do what you got to do to make it happen, dude.
Yeah.
And if you want these results, you're gonna have to make this happen.
You gotta sacrifice something.
And he would even say, I'm gonna laugh. It's funny. He would even say that I'm not as disciplined as I should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's structured, bro. Like we're talking
Yeah.
about a guy like that.
I would see, like, I would like to be like that.
Yeah, it's hard,
but
man.
it's hard, and people say, "I don't make excuses," but like when I do them crazy 12-hour shifts and like
Yeah.
on my way, I was doing it well. I was hitting the gym right after,
Yeah.
but then it comes to a point where like something happens at the hotel, and now I gotta stay later,
Yeah.
and now I'm not getting out till
Yeah.
later. And what killed me the most with my schedule is that the gym closes at a certain time now.
Yeah.
Like when it was 24 hours, I was awesome with that. 'Cause
Yeah, for sure.
I don't mind going anytime.
Mhm.
It's just having the time to do it, and then but now I have to be up at 5 in the morning to get to work at 7.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like now I'm trying to like cut that window, and say it's complicated,
Tough, yeah.
you know.
That's
But like I'm getting back in the routine now, and I'll be able to start getting my schedule back.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
But
Hell yeah, dude. And like I remember when I first started working out with him, I was probably working out for like a good maybe 2-3 months, you know. And I'd lost a little bit of weight, like nothing crazy, you know. But I would see this dude in the gym every morning putting up numbers, kid. Like
yeah,
I mean, we're talking about a guy that's got like a 300-pound fucking tricep press, you know.
yeah, it's wild.
The guy's a freak, you know. Like
Yeah.
he's an animal, you know. And I didn't know anything about that world, like powerlifting. I was just trying to lose some weight, you know. My mind wasn't really focused on trying to gain some muscle. I'm still not where I want to be. I mean, I'm a lot further from where I was, you know.
Yeah.
And he was a big help in that, dude. And like he used to work out with this one dude named Greg, and Greg wanted to cut. Now moving to Florida, you know. And I seen him in there working out by himself one day, and I walked over to him. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? Because I'm not that dude. Like I don't really like just approach people kind of like that.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
know.
You're not, because I remember when I like first started coming to the shop,
Yeah.
like you would talk to Matt, but like you weren't really like.
Yeah, I'm
If
not
you didn't like, I think a couple times I would be like, "What up?" and you were kind of, and you kind of did your own thing.
Yeah,
You didn't really know me.
Yeah.
I didn't know, but I'm different. I'm more like
Barbering has
friendlier.
been better for me. Cutting, I've gotten a lot.
I was gonna say you definitely gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I've gotten
When
a
I
lot
first
better.
met you, weren't like.
I was a big introvert. I'm a little bit more of an
Yeah,
extrovert now. You know?
because I remember I think like because I'm a friendly dude. Like I'm very friendly. I'm very like I'll say what's up to everyone. It's part of my industry. Like hospitality, you have to be that way. So I would be like, "What's up? No, what up, bro?" And you're kind of like cutting your hair. I was like, "All right, cool." Like,
dude, 'cause that's
and I remember Matt was
man.
saying something about, "Yo, what's up?" And he was like, he's just like he's like that. If he doesn't really know you, he's not really gonna be.
Yeah,
like, cool.
kind of just like.
But when you got your own shop, is when even when you came to the race too,
Yeah.
you were starting to be a little more like chill, laid back,
You gotta be,
talking
man.
more.
You have to.
But when you got your own shop, then you really came out of your shell. And you were just like, the first day I came, like, "What up, man?" I was like, "Oh, what up, dude?" I was like,
yeah.
And then we started talking, But
like I have to do it.
it's awesome that you did that.
Yeah. Well, then now and like that was a big step for me because like again, Ernie's an intimidating dude. He's like he's in there, he's drunk, he's screaming, he's putting up big wings. Like, you don't want to go up to this guy. Like you don't want to talk to him. And I'm glad I did because he's one of the greatest dudes I know. You know what I mean? Like he's one of the greatest dudes I know.
And honestly, a lot of guys are like that. If you just ask for help, they're willing to help.
Yeah.
They don't mind. You know what I mean?
Well, the first time he kind of like threw it at me because like I was on the lat pull down machine. You know what I mean? And like I seen him coming, and he was coming to do lat pull downs, and I was like, "I'm almost done, man. Get out of here." You know? He was like, "Oh, you want to work in?" I was like, "No, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready for that." You know? And he was like, "All right, well, whenever you're ready." You know?
I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah. Whenever when he said that, like it was probably like 2 weeks later, I caught wind that because everyone at 5 a.m. was actually pretty cool. You know, like.
Well, it's a small circle because not many people go at 5 a.m.
No, and everyone that's there is there to get it.
Yeah, the one because when I've gone at 5 a.m., I've gone a couple times.
Yeah.
Myself. And like you see the same exact people.
Same people are there.
And they're like they're on the grind doing their thing. Like it's awesome. I love that.
Work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, which is why I want to start doing the 5 a.m.
Yeah,
eventually I'm gonna start doing that.
It's huge. I love it. So I remember the day I went up to him. I was like, "Yo, what's up, man? Like your boy Greg's cutting out. You need a partner? You know?" He was like, "Yeah, you want to work out?" I was like, "Yeah, for sure." He was like, "All right, cool, bet." You know?
Yeah.
And we did shoulders the first time I ever worked out with him, and it was miserable. Dude, he killed me. He killed me, bro.
Yeah, if you don't do it like that, and you like get someone that does it like that, you're gonna be hurting.
Yeah, dude, and like, but it helped big time because I seen the numbers he was putting up, and I'm still nowhere near the numbers that he's putting up. I'm certain on a lot of things.
But your PR is probably way higher than
way
what it was.
Higher, dude. Way higher than what it was, dude. You know what I mean? Because you know what? It gave me that sense of discipline. It was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to do that. What do I have to do to do that?
Yeah, exactly. It's something you wanted it.
Yeah, I mean, you want it.
And that's the key to everything.
Yeah.
You have to want it.
Yeah.
And that goes back to Joe Rogan, why he's so successful in everything he does, because he wanted it.
Well, he talks about it all the time. Like his podcast, when he first started doing it, he said his manager was like, "Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Don't do that."
But he genuinely loves doing it.
He was like, "No, this is what I want to do, man.
Yeah.
Who cares? Listen to it."
And it's funny you picked him because that's kind of how you were barbering. Like, your dad was the same way with you. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
Yeah,
and now
really, like, that's what you want to do.
You're successful. You have your own shop. Like it's almost similar, and like you got obviously different lanes, but the plot to it's basically the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love that. You know what I mean? Like it's awesome when you. It's almost like when someone doubts you. It's like for me when someone says you can't do something, it makes you want to do it more.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like wait, what?
Yeah, some people don't have that. Some people are just like,
you're right.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I can't do that. Maybe I'll just do this. I'll be comfortable. You gotta get out of that comfort zone.
Nah, comfortable is the worst thing you can do.
Comfort kills. Yeah. Comfort fucking kills.
It really does.
It kills.
You know what, dude? You talked about how like you were really heavy. When I was with my ex, I got really heavy.
Yeah.
Like I blew up. Like it was. I remember I went to the doctor and I was like 265, 270.
Yeah, dude.
And I remember seeing pictures. I look at pictures now and I'm like, oh my god, what was I? But I was so comfortable with her. She was cooking. She's Spanish, bro. Cooking rice and beans every day, and like she would give me mountains of food.
Well,
so,
I got heavy. I was always a husky kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was always a husky kid. You
Yeah.
know? Like I got even heavier when I moved in with that girlfriend and her family.
Because they cooked a lot.
Well, no, not because they cooked a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah, they cooked and shit like that, but mainly because her dad used to manage this pizza shop down in Rockland. You know?
Oh
so,
man.
dude.
So you were.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, but like at the worst time of night.
Oh yeah, they go home with pies left over.
Dude, he's coming home with
That's
whatever's
what they
left
do.
over, and then not only that, like whatever you want.
Yeah.
Put the order in. Dude, I was putting in orders at like 9 o'clock at night for like chicken parm heroes and some pizza and this, that, and third. And like, It was all for free.
It's
Like,
it's so bad.
It's
Dude.
so
That
bad.
time of night,
Dude, and like again, I was working 5 a.m. in the morning, so like I would knock out probably around like 8:39. He'd come home like 10:30. She'd wake me up and be like, "Yo, the food's here." I'd fucking gorge
down,
myself
go back to bed,
and knock right out.
Yeah. Oh man.
Dude, it was bad, bro.
Yeah, dude,
it was so bad.
That's tough.
It was
That's
yeah,
tough.
but that's what it was, man. Like that's like, you know, but that's
Yeah,
that's how I got that.
But
big, man,
it's funny though because you don't realize how big you're getting
no, you don't.
until like for me, I never realized until I started seeing pictures.
Yeah.
Pictures is what got me. Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
And then so then like when me and her broke up, I actually lost a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I started losing weight like
Yeah,
crazy.
huge.
Started shedding it.
Fucking huge, yeah.
But yeah, man, I think that's crazy.
Yeah, discipline. It's
Yeah.
important. You have to teach it to your kids, man.
Yeah, man. But
you have to teach it to your kids. It's very important, man, because you want them to be successful, and not in a sense of successful in what your idea of success is, but just in life. You know what I mean? And not only just being a good person. You know what I mean? Like just being a good person and making things happen for yourself. You know, because you want it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. And that was the whole key with like my pick and your pick.
Yeah.
They both actually run that line of you have to want it. His kids wanted it, so they listened to him and
Yeah.
took all that hard, tough love he gave
That's
them how to
right.
do it. They wanted it and they got it.
Yep, that's
Joe
right.
Rogan, he wanted all things he wants, and now he's the top podcaster, one of the best comedians,
Yeah.
and he's killing it with the UFC.
Killing it. He's killing it.
Like he's Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
you know, in the
You
UFC.
see his reaction when
Dude,
this
that's the best thing ever.
Yeah,
I
they're
watched
great.
like 8 times.
They're great.
Yeah, the best.
They're great, dude. That was sick.
But I do want to end off with this quote that LeVar has.
What do you got?
It says, as a father, all I can do is guide him. I'm not going to take a lesser role. I'm going to be his father, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it, bro.
It's as simple as that.
It's simple as that. Like, you could be, and that's why I love him. Because, like, no matter how much he gets criticized for being too in their lives or being too pushy of a father, like, no, these are my kids.
Yeah.
I know what my kids need. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are on the outside looking in.
Yep.
Like, so, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's
Absolutely.
what your role is as a father. Your kids aren't going to always like you.
No.
Your kids aren't going to always agree with you.
Nope.
Your kids are going to have a point where they're going to be like, fuck that. Like, I
Yeah.
want to do this.
Yeah.
And all you can do is just try to guide them and keep being there for them no matter what. Even if they're mad at you.
Yeah.
Just be like, all right, that's what you want to do? Cool. I'm
Yeah.
still going to be here. I'm still going to guide you. I'm still going to
Yeah.
check you when you're wrong. I'm still going to be on this, right by your side regardless if you're
Yeah.
mad at me or not.
Flat out.
You know, and that's where I feel like fathers before us didn't have that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, and you gotta have their back, man. You gotta have their back and you gotta support them.
Regardless.
Yeah, regardless, dude. So, like, even though my dad wasn't too cool with the whole going to barber school and trying to becoming a barber thing at first, as I progressed and as he saw that I really wanted it and I was really gonna make it happen, is when he got on board. So, like, when I opened my shop, like I said, man, he was a private contractor for a long time. I
Yeah.
lucked out big time. He helped me work out. He helped me build my whole shop out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
He helped me build out the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, there was a wall in there and everything. Like, we knocked the wall down. Like, we put the floor down.
Yeah, that's
everything.
awesome. Well, he had your back. Towards
Had my back,
and you know what it is? For your dad, I think it was, he wanted to see if you could do it.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, all right, show me.
Yeah.
Show me
That's
I'm
exactly
show me I'm wrong,
That's exactly.
and I'll come back.
That's
And
exactly.
I'll come back, and I got your back.
Yep.
And you did it, you know? And because in his mind, parents want to be wrong.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
When they
absolutely.
give you the advice and they kind of break your heart on something you want to do,
Yeah.
they want you to prove them wrong, but they also want you to have the reality
Yep.
that you might not prove them wrong.
Yeah, man.
And so you to be like, ah, I get it. So when God forbid it does happen where you're wrong, you can go back and reflect and be like, damn,
Yeah.
I should have just listened, you know.
That's true.
But yeah, it's you have to have that reality check.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you might not make it.
Yeah, and
It's not for everyone.
yeah, and you should listen to your parents just because they had the experience, man.
They've been through it.
They've been
They've
through it.
been
They
through
know
it.
what's gonna
You
happen.
know what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
you know? And like there's certain things that I go through and I'll be like, oh, my mom told me about this.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be right back, my mom
Yeah.
told me about this.
Yeah.
And here it is.
Yeah.
This is it.
Flat out.
Boom. There.
Yeah. There it
And
is.
there's a lot of situations I've maneuvered myself out of because I remember my mom or my grandfather giving me advice on something or telling me about something,
Yeah.
and I was able to get out of situations that
Yeah,
could have
man.
been bad.
Yeah.
That ended up good because I knew how to maneuver myself
Yeah.
out of the situation.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't listen.
And that just comes with maturing. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Because we talked about this on a lot of podcasts. Like when you're a certain age, you think you know everything, and you really don't know anything.
No, you don't.
And we still don't. You know what I
No,
mean?
we don't.
You have
We're
to-
learning. I'm learning stuff every
You
day.
have to be willing to learn.
And you
everything,
have to be.
dude.
You have to be open-minded.
You have to be
If
open-minded.
you're not open-minded, you're gonna stay in the exact same place you're at
That's
for
it.
the rest of your life.
Flat out.
And it's the harsh truth. It
You gotta
sucks.
see things
but-
from a different point of view, man. That's very
and
important.
that's what honestly that's what pre-law taught me.
Okay.
And so pre-law was the best thing for me because it taught me to when we had a debate, she would make us debate the thing that we didn't want it to be.
Yeah.
Because her idea was take your heart out of every argument,
Yeah.
and that's why I think me and my ex are so cool now. Is I go back to every time with her now.
Yeah.
So they're getting frustrated. I take the emotion out of everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
And
now.
look at the facts.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
And then that's how I calm myself down.
Yep.
I go, well, let's look at the facts first.
Yep.
All right, I feel this way, but let's stop. This is what actually happened.
Yep.
This is why she's mad. I look at their side,
Yep.
look at my side, and I try to come to the middle and be the peacemaker.
Yeah, and sometimes there aren't even really facts. Sometimes it is what it is.
It's their truth.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Everyone has their own truth.
Yeah,
too,
for sure.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so some people that could be true.
Yeah, for sure. Flat out. We're all different. We all think different.
Yeah. You could honestly think something. We could be in the same situation, see the same thing happen, and we could both think something else happened.
Yeah, no.
I can describe it completely different from you.
I
was like, bro, what the fuck you talking about? I just saw it. Yeah, and you're like, no, bro, I saw
That's
this.
what I'm saying. Like,
And we both could be right. We both could saw something different.
Flat out, dude. Like, that's why when you're in a relationship, like, communication is key. It's very important.
Yeah.
I didn't have that too much with my kid's mom. I wish I did.
Yeah.
I didn't have too much because now looking back at it, me myself, for my own selfish reasons, was thinking that I was doing everything I was supposed to do.
Yep.
And she thought the same thing about herself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And there was no sense of like, well, why don't we just talk about it?
There's no common ground.
This is how I feel. This is how you feel.
Yeah.
Let's figure
it
it out.
wasn't there. You know what I mean? It just wasn't
Same
there.
thing with my ex. Like,
Yeah.
I had my
It
selfish
seems to be-
reasons.
it
She had her
seems-
selfish
yeah,
reasons.
It seems to be the thing.
And we both couldn't get out of each other's way.
Yeah.
I couldn't get out of my way. She couldn't get out of her way.
Yeah.
And that's why we are.
I just, we're just like the level of understanding you're
I'm
supposed to
taking responsibility stuff. All right. Don't get mad.
Me too.
Leave me out of the comments.
Full accountability is huge. I'm trying to take a lot of it out of these days, man. Like, I really am, dude. But yeah, man, good fucking.
Yeah,
song,
good episode, man. I love it. I love this.
Sure.
Is really good, bro.
We're flowing.
Yeah, we're good.
We're flowing, kid.
You know, but before this cuts off, Maslow getting knocked out.
Oh my god, dude, that whole card was incredible.
That whole card was incredible.
Boswell getting knocked off was like the cherry.
Just so you guys know, we're huge fight fans.
Yeah,
And
man, we love it.
literally, every time I get my haircut, that's all me and him talk about. We'll argue back and forth about who we like, who we don't like, and I'm usually right, he's usually wrong, but that's you know, that's a whole other story.
I'm not gonna touch on that.
But yeah, I did not expect Usman to knock out Jorge Masvidal.
You know what? I didn't know what was
That
gonna
blew my
happen that
mind.
night, but I remember being at the shop I was talking about with somebody, and I was just like, you can't sleep. Usman's fucking calculating, dude. He's a technician.
He's smart. He's so
He's
smart.
a smart dude.
And
Masvidal's a street dude.
Yeah.
With some MMA training.
But that's why I thought he wouldn't get knocked out though. I thought if anything, Usman was gonna outpoint him, get that decision again, but dominate him.
Yeah, but you know what though? Like in the street, it's like you either get knocked out or you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like that's kind of it's a 50-50 and like Masvidal, bro, you got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, and but I loved how he got in the mic and was like, "Yo, he got me."
Yeah.
Like, it's not. I can't say nothing
I'm
anymore.
talking about fucking Thug Rose.
Oh, Thug Rose.
Thug Rose.
I loved
Dude,
it.
law of attraction.
I knew-
I'm the best.
I knew she was gonna win though.
Dude.
I called it. Like I said it from the jump.
Gangster.
I was like, "Yo, Thug Rose got it."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Nah, that Chinese chick's crazy." I was like, "Nah, I'm rolling with Thug Rose in this one." And she had kicked her to another dimension. That was wild. She didn't even know she got knocked out.
Dropped.
She had no idea she got knocked out.
Lights were out, dude.
How cool.
Lights were out for her. The lights weren't out when she went down. Is when she came after.
Yeah, it was.
They were like nobody was home.
I couldn't believe it.
Nobody was home, dude.
And then the homegirl, J-Check.
Oh, yeah. What's her last name?
That's the other one. That's Joanna.
Shevchenko. Yeah. I can't say it.
I can't say her name. She's awesome though. One of my favorite fighters.
Killed it. That crucifix position.
Yeah.
Oh my god. There's no getting out of that.
She's a technical machine.
Insane.
She's like Usman.
Yeah, dominating.
She just can't lose.
And then of course Weidman snapped that leg. It was like 30 seconds in. That was insane.
That was the first.
We were sleeping. I woke my son up, dude.
Me too.
I woke my
I was
he was sleeping, dude. I woke him up. Dude, it was me, Maddie, my boy Mason, my boy Jeff, and bro.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
it was
came
bad,
running
bro.
through. Yeah.
It was bad. I couldn't believe it.
Insane.
And Uriah Hall, first ever fighter to win a UFC fight without throwing a single trick.
Crazy. I was like, where's that spinning back?
Yeah.
Let me see it.
He didn't have to do nothing.
Didn't have to do it.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was a good fight card. That was by far the best fight card I've seen in
a
a
long
while.
time.
In a while.
Well, worth all the money.
Yeah.
Worth
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I took
it was
a lot of money on that one.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
I loved it.
What do you got going for a week? Just chilling?
Chilling, man. Doing my work thing. Got the kids this weekend.
Work.
I got my first event at Arrow Park.
Alright, no.
Got your boy, Sweet
That's
16 bar.
Hey.
Shirley Temple's on deck.
There you go. I like that Shirley Temple. I definitely did.
But yeah, man. What about you? Same shit?
Chilling. Busy week. mood for the week. It's nice.
That's good.
Yeah,
It's good feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just gonna chill.
So I think the next big fight. There's a fight card this weekend, but it's free. I think it's on ESPN too.
Okay.
But I think the next big one is what do you call it?
I don't even know.
Chandler.
Okay, no doubt. Word. Oh yeah.
Chandler O'Bara.
Okay. Yeah,
That's a
I like
good one.
that. I like that because I like that he brought the whole what's it called? Kind of like that WWE style, where his last like
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he's like, "New King of Town."
Calling everybody out. He called out everyone. He even called out Khabib. Like.